Hi there, welcome to this video on the Layers Palette tips. In this video here we're just going to cover some of the basic tips and techniques and things that we can use the Layers Palette for that we're going to be using throughout this series of videos on digital cosmetic surgery, and a couple other little tips that will help you along your way too. Okay, first of all we're just going to show how we can group layers in Photoshop CS2, and this is the only version that you can do this in. You haven't been able to do it in CS1 or 7 or the other previous versions of Photoshop, so unless you have Photoshop CS2 this won't work for you. Okay, just duplicating our layer here, so we've got a number of different layers. Now we can quite simply, actually I'll just make my palette a bit bigger there. Okay, and the other thing, I'll just make my thumbnails big so you can see what's going on. Now if I select both these two layers, I can do that by holding the shift key down and then clicking on them. Once I've got them together there, I can group them, and I can do that by pressing Control G or Command G if you're on the Mac, and you can see that then groups them into their own folder. Okay, and we've got this here, it's called Group 1. We can rename that too, so we can call this Building or whatever we like, and we can also color code it too. So you can right click or control click if you're on a single button mouse, select Group Properties, and then in here we can actually color this group to whatever we like, so we can quickly and easily identify certain parts of our image. So this might be our, for example, our edits, where we're doing all our edits, and we'll have those layers grouped together, and we know what it is there. And then you can have other groups as well. So it makes it easier to organize your work. Okay, so that's grouping. We've got color coding there that we can use as well. Now, one thing that you may want to know how to do, we'll just add a layer there. You can see when I click on the new layer icon in the layers palette, it adds a layer above the current selected layer. So I had my background layer selected, then I clicked on the new layer icon, and it's added a layer above that. If I wanted to add a layer below, let's say below layer 1, there's a very simple way to do that, and on the PC you hold down Control and Shift, and on the Mac you hold down Command and Shift, and then you press the new layer icon, and that then adds a layer below the current selected layer. So you can see there we've got layer 1, 3 and 2, and if I click on layer 1 again, hold down Control Shift or Command Shift, click on the new layer icon, we then get the fourth layer, which is added just below that, so it's not adding it on top. So neat little trick there to do with the layers palette. Now just so you know, we also have the layers menu up here. Now the layers menu has this is basically the long way of going about doing what you need to do. You've got your layers properties options in here. We've got, you know, our layer mask, vector mask, clipping mask, smart objects, so you can access all these different things through the layers menu. Okay, we also have this little triangle here on the top right hand tab. If we click on that, we get a lot of these different options in here as well, so we can group into smart objects, layer properties, blending options and so forth, and you can also merge your layers down and so forth and group them together. Okay, and keeping in mind as well that you can get different options for different things that you're right clicking on if you've got a 2-button mouse, or control clicking for a single button mouse on the Mac. So if we right click on our thumbnail here, we get a set of options that are specific to the thumbnail, and also some to do with the layer properties and blending options. If we right click on the layer, the writing there where it's got layer 2, then we get some different options there as well, so that we can group into smart objects, duplicate the layer, delete the layer, merge them and so forth. Okay, so there's another way that you can access your different options in there. Now there's a really neat little trick or something that you can use in Photoshop when you've got multiple layers. I'm just going to click here and just put some type in there, Now just going to put some more type over here. Okay, just so we can see what's going on. Okay, if you come up to the options bar, this is the bar called the options bar here, which is under our main menus. And if we click on auto select layer, and then by default you have auto select groups selected there as well. Now what this enables us to do is, instead of having to ensure that we have the right layer clicked on in the layers palette, you can actually just click with your move tool or whatever on the actual tool, on the actual object that you'd like to move or transform or whatever, and it'll select it for you. So you can see there I've just clicked on the type here and it's changed the layer that's selected in the layers palette. And now if I click on the background, actually I'll just make that so it's not the background layer. If I click on the background now, it selects that type background and I can move that. And one other thing you can click on is show transform controls, and that gives us our transform handle so we can resize things and so forth. And if I click on these different objects, you can see very versatile, very quickly and easily you can filter and scroll between the different layers without having to come into your layers palette and actually manually click on them and then move them. So just something cool that you can think about, and you can use it in your own work if it's something that you'd like to do. One other thing that we're going to use a lot in these video tutorials is the opacity slider in our layers palette. We're not focusing so much on the fill slider, but very similar type things. In the next video we're going to go into a little bit about blending modes and also layer masks, so look forward to those ones. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video, just a few little tips and tricks about the layers palette, and look forward to seeing you on the next video. Have a great day.